Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video I'm going to take a look at what games are currently being developed by Blizzard, both games that have been confirmed to be developed and many more games that are rumored to be developed, or there are various reports from journalists that they are in development, but Blizzard has not officially confirmed those. If you're here because of Warcraft Rumble and Warcraft Rumble being put into maintenance mode, then you might be interested in upcoming Blizzard games to see, okay, what's going to be the next game you're going to play. On the other hand, you also might not want to have anything to do with Blizzard, so it's a two-way street. Anyway, let's take a look at what is Blizzard currently working on. First, to set some expectations, how long does it even take for Blizzard to develop a game? So Warcraft 3 back in the day was developed in just 4 years, World of Warcraft in 5 years, but since Blizzard has really taken their time most of the time, so Starcraft 2 took 7 years, Diablo 3 was quite brutal. It took 11 years and some restarts. Hearthstone took 6 years. Heroes of the Storm was actually quite successful, developed in only 5 years. Overwatch was sort of developed in 3 years, but then it was built on the assets from Titan, which had been in development for 6 years before it had been cancelled. Diablo 4 took 7 years, Warcraft Rumble took 7 years. Yeah, so Warcraft Rumble has taken as long in development as all of Blizzard's PC games pretty much. And also Blizzard cancels more than 50% of its game development projects. So anything that's in development right now, it's probably going to get cancelled anyway. And they have also cancelled and restarted and cancelled and started from zero many games many times. So Blizzard is very good at wasting a lot of money. But anyway, let's take a look at what are they developing right now. The most obvious one is the next expansion to Blizzard's most successful game, World of Warcraft, and the expansion Midnight. So Midnight expansion has been confirmed by Blizzard. More news should be coming at Gamescom, so between August 20th and August 24th. So in a month and a half we should learn more about Midnight, including potentially the release date. The War Within, the previous expansion, was released in 2024. World of Warcraft expansions have typically released every 2 years. However, Blizzard has tried to get into this 18-month cadence, but they so far have not been successful. If they do manage to do that now, then Midnight could arrive already in early 2026. So that's when it's currently expected, but we'll see if Blizzard manages to do that. So if you're in the World of Warcraft, the game is still doing fine and new expansions are rolling in. Another thing that has been confirmed by Blizzard is the second expansion to Diablo 4. The name has not been confirmed, but that was confirmed at DICE in Las Vegas in February this year. Coming next year, 2026, Diablo 4 expansion number 2. And those were Blizzard's officially confirmed projects. So then we get into the realm of hearsay more or less, but some of these are more confirmed than others. So the project that I'm super confident that is going on because it's been confirmed so many times by so many different sources is Overwatch Mobile, which according to some sources is internally called Overwatch 3. So it wouldn't just be a port of Overwatch 2, but this would be the future of Overwatch on mobile, getting some of that sweet mobile player money. They have so much money, they don't know what to do with all that money, but they could spend it all on Overwatch Mobile. So most recent news about Overwatch Mobile came in 2 months ago when it was confirmed by MTN that Nexon would publish the game in South Korea and in Japan. And the bidding ended just 2 months ago, but release date for Overwatch Mobile is still uncertain, but I suppose it is approaching and this could come sooner rather than later. The news from MTN included another bit about future Blizzard games, or at least Blizzard IP games, because apparently it was a package deal that multiple South Korean companies were bidding on to publish Overwatch Mobile in Japan and in South Korea, and to develop a new game with the Starcraft IP. So Blizzard is licensing out the Starcraft IP. And the winner of the bidding war was Nexon. So Nexon is going to develop a new Starcraft game, part of this package deal, and reportedly signed just a couple of months ago, so it will take time, of course, before the game comes out. What games has Nexon even done? Nexon is a publisher, so they might use some other company to actually do the work on the game and then publish it. They've released stuff like First Berserker Kazan, Maple Story, Blue Archive. I actually have never played any of these games. I did try to look at some of their reviews, but Most of them were developed by various third parties, so it's really hard to say what the StarCraft game would be about, and we don't even know what genre it would be about, because like you could do lots of stuff in StarCraft universe, including things that Blizzard is apparently doing themselves, because also according to multiple sources, Blizzard is developing a StarCraft shooter game, apparently a first-person shooter, but shooter game anyway. But this would be the third time that they're developing a StarCraft shooter. First there was StarCraft Ghost, which was developed by a third party, and then that was an adventure-style shooter, cancelled. Then there was the Project Ares, which was like a Battlefield-style StarCraft game. But lots of executives hated it because they had Call of Duty and they hated Battlefield and they didn't want a Battlefield-style game in their portfolio apparently. And yeah, that was cancelled too. But third time is the charm, StarCraft shooter. Apparently they have Dan Hay, the director of multiple Far Cry games, running this project. And development of the StarCraft shooter, it's a little bit unclear. It may have started in January 2024 after the survival game was cancelled, Odyssey. And that project, apparently, the people who were not immediately laid off were moved to the shooter game. But there have also been some reports that there would have been a shooter game already in development earlier. So is that the StarCraft shooter, or are there two FPS projects at the same time going on at Blizzard? It's kind of hard to say. But Dan Hay is definitely still at Blizzard, and he's leading some kind of a shooter project. And then we have some rumors, not very many rumors though, but some, about World of Warcraft Mobile being developed by NetEase in China. So we know that NetEase in China was developing World of Warcraft Mobile originally, but that was cancelled back in 2022. That one is like common knowledge. But there are rumors that the project has been rejuvenated and restarted in late 2024 with a release date in 2027 or 2028. But that's kind of hard to say. There hasn't been a lot of talk about this one yet, but it's possible that NetEase would be developing another mobile game for Blizzard. They did build Diablo Immortal, and that one has been fairly successful, so maybe Blizzard is willing to share some money with NetEase. And Blizzard could also be developing even more mobile games, because according to GameRant, at least 99 people have moved from King to Blizzard, and many of them moved from King to Blizzard with the same titles in July 2024, so this is like news from last year, of course, but still. And they moved there to develop a variety of AA mobile projects based on various Blizzard IPs. So Blizzard is really, looks like Blizzard is quite desperately trying to find a space, find a way into this mobile market, because they think that, okay, these mobile players, they have so much money and they don't know what to do with all of that money, and we want that money. And obviously Warcraft Rumble didn't really attract that audience. And the more they tried to attract that audience, the more they alienated the kind of audience that they could have had for the game, which was like old World of Warcraft players. They could have tens of millions of those. But they didn't want them because they don't spend enough money. So, yeah, that's actually all the projects that I was able to find from public sources that are being developed or are rumored to be developed at Blizzard right now. So it doesn't look like we're going to get anything from Blizzard really soon. Like, of course, we're going to get the Diablo expansion, we're going to get the World of Warcraft expansion. Overwatch Mobile has been in development for some time, so it might come sooner, but many of these things have already been started within the last year. And yeah, we'll see. There's definitely a lot of mobile stuff going on at Blizzard. They desperately want to get into that market. I don't know how they're going to do that, because Blizzard IPs typically are not very attractive to the mobile market, but to much older people who don't want to spend money recklessly. But, well, we'll see. So, yeah, it was interesting researching Blizzard games, seeing, okay, am I going to use some kind of Blizzard game on my channel in the future? But at least when it comes to new Blizzard games, nothing is apparently coming very soon. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.